Good morning, Tom. Good to see you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Wow.
How's
On the
how you
mend, as
doing?
they say.
What's that?
I said I am on the mend, as they say.
Oh, that's great.
So
Welcome back, Tom.
Thank you.
Started it when we had the corona. What I did that to get. Right when we, I want 35% up. Get the corona. I get to check the next.
Excuse me, is this where Mr. McCoy is supposed to be?
Yes.
Okay, he's here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Come on, Mr. McCoy. There you go. You're unmuted. Excuse me, this is his wife. I'm just here to help him work the computer because he don't know how to work it, but I'm not gonna be saying anything.
Okay.
Okay. You can say good morning.
Okay, good morning. I'm good.
Okay, Mr. McCoy, your
Yes, sir.
case is down a few, and so when we call your case, let me take a quick look here. Your case is 7422. When we call your case up, then go ahead and come on. Go ahead and have your wife mute your computer right at the moment until it comes up. Okay?
422? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're 7422, correct. So when we call it, then go ahead and unmute and you can come on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I walked in.
Mr. Chairman, we're gonna give everybody 2 more minutes and then we can get started.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we can get started.
Okay, so we'll bring the Board of Billing Standards and Appeals in session in compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law, section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976. Notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions are under the purview of the City Planning Department, conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting has the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking on the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded by way of the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed by way of YouTube. All requests to speak on a particular matter by way of our website and email have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Okay. Ms. Aston?
Thank you,
For
Mr.
Miss,
Chair. Go ahead, thank
this
you.
is Maurice Rowlands, just confirming that we are streaming live.
Thank you, Maurice. And Mr. Chairman, as we do, Patricia McGinty Aston on behalf of the City of Cleveland, Law Department, Building Department, Fire Department. As we do each time since the beginning of the pandemic, we do object to the use of the chat based upon the Ohio Supreme Court rules promulgated on their website. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Ms. Davis, we call the roll.
Mr. Maschke,
Here.
Mr. Bradley, Mr. Dink,
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, so we have only 3 board members, which means that if our decision is not unanimous, which it usually is, then your appeal goes back to the city. If for that reason you prefer not to have your case heard, then let me know when we call your case that you would like to reschedule your case. Okay, we'll call the first case, docket A 7522, 3140 East 65th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance issued on March 21st of 2022. Appeal statement was received April 18th of 2022 for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. Would the appellant or his or her owner or representative please state your name for the record?
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see a John Eslich in the participants panel, but I do see Councilman Harsh is present with his hand raised.
Okay, Councilman?
I was just going to ask if we're going in strict order of the agenda today, or if the case I'm here for can bump up.
We will pump your case up to the next case.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. If you can swear in Mr. Vanover on A7522, I will do my service inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the city, to Ms. Davis, did notice of today's public hearing via WebEx come back, return to the board's file for any reason?
No.
Thank you. And did you receive any communication, voicemail, email, fax, et cetera, on behalf of this docket or this appellant for A7522?
The board did receive email communication from this appellant on yesterday. They stated that they had abated the violations and wanted to withdraw their appeal. The board asked them to submit any other documentation to close out their file on the abatement issue and any permits that they pull to complete the abatement.
Thank you. And so, Mr. Chairman, it appears you have given proper notice and service to the appellant, and you can proceed accordingly. Thank you.
We will. Okay, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, based on Ms. Davis's testimony, reading the report, they request to withdraw their appeal.
Yes.
So according to our records, the inspector does indicate that the hazardous condition violation notice has been abated. There's 2 appeals, it appears. It looks like there was A1822 as well as A7522. But the inspection report says that the hazardous condition has been abated. However, there's also a no permit violation notice that has yet to be abated. So depending on how the appeal is crafted, I cannot say that they are in compliance because they did not pull permits for the work they were conducting. However, being that they requested to withdraw their appeal, I would say that their withdrawal stands and there's no action required by the board.
Okay. That's the decision, then we will take no action. They are just considered to be withdrawn.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if instead of no action, if you would just note the withdrawal on the record as opposed to no action in the pending appeal. Thank you.
Okay. we will certainly do that. We will note that the appellant has withdrawn their appeal. I don't think we need a vote on that. So.
I would agree that it's just withdrawn. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to jump down to docket A7922, 3910 Bucyrus Avenue.
Is that appellant here yet?
Yes, my name's Tina Mahoney. I'm the administrator for the estate of my brother.
Okay, 1 second, please. All right, Mr. Chairman, we can proceed.
Okay. Well, we opened it. Go ahead.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance issued on March 24th of 2022. Appeal statement was received on April 14th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law, Councilman Chris Parsh of Ward 13. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
My name is Tina Mahoney.
Okay. All those giving testimony solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, Councilman, do you wish to speak first or at the end?
At the end, please.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Mahoney, and let us know what your plans are.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm the administrator of my brother's estate. Things were complicated. I had to evict someone and that person wasn't evicted until July 20th. We have just cleaned out the house. The house is up for sale. My brother's estate was intested. There is no money to fix the violations, the major violations. We did fix many of the safety violations while the person was living in the home. But like I said, the house is up for sale right now. We did remove the cars, the boat, the hot water tank issue was fixed. There's smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. The plan is not to, the home is vacant. We are not planning on renting. It needs to be sold to pay off my brother's debts.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vanover.
So, so my first question was if it was empty. So you said that it is vacant.
That's correct.
And this was a rental property, and it says I'm going to request that an inspection be made by the inspector to verify the items that have been corrected. And how much time are you requesting?
Inspector Arnold did come out to the home already. I happened to be there with my husband. He took pictures of everything that I'd stated was corrected up to this point. This property was not a rental property per se. I had to get a rental license because I was the administrator. So that was the only reason why I had to get a rental license. So it wasn't actually a rental property. My brother had resided there before his death, and this was his girlfriend that had lived there with him. And she refused to move after a 30-day notice and then the eviction notice.
Yeah, so unfortunately, at that point, once he was no longer living there, it defaults to a rental when it's not owner occupied, although it wasn't the initial intention.
Correct.
Okay, so but it was owner occupied up until his passing.
Correct.
So, Mr. Chairman, we don't object to more time as long as it's reasonable time. And with the understanding that the property is vacant and will remain vacant. But again, I'm not sure how much time the appellate is requesting.
Okay, well, we'll bring the councilman in and see what he has to say. Councilman Harsh?
Yeah, thank you, members of the board. I appreciate it. I've spoken with Ms. Mahoney about this as well and can confirm everything she's told you. It's my understanding, though, that the intention is not to fix the property because there isn't money in the estate to do that, but rather to sell as is to somebody who can fix it. The house is up for sale. And if I'm hearing everything correctly, it's my understanding that these violations would be passed on to the new owner. And my main concern, because I understand Ms. Mahoney's situation, and she is doing the mature and responsible thing of taking responsibility for her family's property, and I appreciate that. But my concern is making sure that potential buyers understand that these violations need to be addressed, and that this is part of the transaction. So that's why I wanted to pop in on this real quick. I understand if they're not going to put money into the house pre-sale, but I leave that to the board.
Okay. Mr. Vanover, any further comments?
So yeah, Mr. Chairman, yeah, just so that for some clarity, the conditions of the property will be transferred to the new owner, but the notice of violation is written to Daryl DeFranco. So the violation notice, the order itself will not be transferred. But if it remains in this condition, you know, it'll be recited once the new owner takes possession. So making them aware of the outstanding violation notice will come in the form of a certificate of disclosure. But I also strongly recommend that Ms. Mahoney make them aware. We don't object to 90 days to abate the, you know, to well, I guess to transfer the property to find a beneficial owner.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes, and that is true. I have disclosed all the violations to the realtor, and he is aware that whoever does purchase the property will, you know, take over the violations, and you know, they will need to be remedied by the new owner. So.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mahoney. So we will go ahead and a motion is in order to give till November 15th, 90 days, 2022 to, well, it would be, I guess, sell the property or abate the violations. Motion so in order?
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Denk, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Notice will be sent within 2 weeks.
And Ms.
Thank you.
Mahoney, please reach out. I'd like to talk to you offline as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Okay, next docket, we're gonna move up back to 7822. And it's 14335 Lorraine Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance issued on March 17th of 2022. Appeal statement received on April 11th of 2022, requesting for time to complete abatement of the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patricia Aston, Law. With the owner or his and her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, board members. Joe Strake, attorney for the party being issued these citations.
Okay, Mr. Straight, you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what the plans are.
Okay, so here's what I could tell you. I have some good news, I believe, to report. I believe many of the issues have been resolved. I believe the board already has the management agreement, which resolves some of the issues. There has been a City of Cleveland certificate of rental registration over this property has been received and granted. Not sure what date it is, but I'm looking at it right now. As far as the violations themselves, everything regarding the specific unit in question, 131, which is probably half, if not more, of the issues, all of those have been completely resolved and abated, ready for an inspection at any time. Some of the other issues still do need work. The parking lot, there's holes, but instead of patching the holes, what they're trying to do is just redo the entire parking lot. I guess financially that makes sense. I'm not the manager, but I guess the way the money works, it's easier to do it that way. There are 2 bids on that. We're getting that done. And the other issues, we do have contractors in the works to come out and repair. But just straight math, I'd say probably between 60 and 70% of the issues that were raised herein have been already resolved. We would ask additional time so we can complete the project and get this place up to snuff.
Okay, do you have any idea on the time you think you're gonna need?
I can't say for sure, but if along that other case, if I could request 90 days, I'm guessing that would be sufficient. That would take us into the colder weather. I mean, certainly the surfacing, I don't think you could do any surfacing after that anyway. So I'm sure they're going to have to get that done. And the other issues I think would be done in that time. I think the biggest project is the parking lot.
Okay,
Certainly the most expensive.
okay, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, it does appear that there's quite a bit of the work has been done. You know, the cleanup of everything outside is paramount. And we don't object to 90 days to correct all the violations.
Okay, sounds good.
With the exception that, Mr. Chairman, that just to verify, has the CO detector been installed in unit 131 and throughout the building, through all of them?
I do know that everything in 131 has been addressed. Are you asking if there's a CO detector in every suite?
Yes, any suite that has, yes, that's what I'm asking.
That I cannot say, but I certainly would find out and make that the #1 priority, certainly.
Yes, so Mr. Chairman, any suite that has fuel burning appliances, we would ask that any extension of time be met with 2 weeks to get those installed.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so what we're looking at is making sure that the CO detectors be in place within by September 14th, 2022, and that abate all of the violations by November 15th. That will be 90 days, 2022. Motion so in order.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Maschke.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes,
Can you repeat those dates for me, Mr. Chairman?
sure. Yes, September 14th, 2 weeks to take care of the detectors in each unit. And November 15th, if I'm saying that right, 90 days, let me make sure of that. November 15th, 2022. To abate all the violations.
Okay, and Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, that's in, for the CO detectors, that's installed and inspected by Inspector Derrick.
Did we catch that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's complete. All right.
Uh,
Notice to be
question,
sent.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
to CBO Vanover, did you want that part of the resolution?
Yes,
Oh,
so that'll be the 2 weeks, the September 14th date.
okay.
Okay, very good. All right, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next docket is docket 8522, 3206 West 100th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior exterior maintenance and no permit. Issued May 3rd of 2022. Appeal statement received May 24th of 2022. Requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do believe the property was sold and there is a new owner as of June 23rd. Tom, did you talk to Rhonda on this one too?
Should I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I did not specifically discuss this one other than her.
Okay,
Or
so Mr.
update, but-
Chairman, the public records indicate that there is a new owner as June 23rd, 2022. I did talk to the inspector and she has spoken with the new owner about this matter. I was not sure if somebody was going to be present today on behalf of the new owner on this or not. I do not see anyone for this. So we're going to ask that you uphold, deny, and remand after you speak to Mr. Vanover.
Okay,
The new owner has been notified of the violations according to Ms. Darrett. Thank you.
okay. Well then, Mr. Vanover.
So Ms. Aston, I've got the certificate of disclosure, but when was the transfer date?
I'm pulling it up right now. I think it's June 23rd because I think that certificate of disclosure may have been a prior one. Let me bring it up. It looks like it's now in the name of 3206 West 100 LLC. So it looks like it's June 23rd, 2022.
Okay, so the transfer was prior to the compliance date. So, yeah, we would ask that you uphold, deny, and remand.
Okay. So motion is in order to uphold the violations, to deny any more time, and to remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Denk,
Second.
Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay. The notice will be sent to them within 2 weeks.
Excuse me, I got a question. This is Mr. McCoy's wife.
Yes.
Is there any way we can get Mr. McCoy's docket up? Because I gotta be to school by 10:30.
Yeah, we can move his docket up, sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, we're gonna open A 7422. 17109 Hillsborough Road.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance issued on April 25th of 2022. Appeal statement received May 5th of 2022 requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
Art McCoy.
Okay, Mr. McCrory, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. McCoy, and let us know what your plans are.
Greeting board. The plans are going fine. I'm in communication with Miss Garrett, the inspector. As a matter of fact, I talked to her yesterday. I've been trying to reach her for a couple of weeks. About 3 weeks she's been out. But she's satisfied with the plan that the work that I'm doing. I would say that I'm practically finished. The inspector, Miss Garrett, is coming out again and let me know exactly where I stand. So everything is looking good. If you give me just a few more weeks, I think you'll be very satisfied.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, this is a rental property, and there are extensive violations that have been issued on this. So we would ask that any extension of time that the debris outside is cleaned up, that the hedges are cleaned up, and that the smoke detectors are installed immediately.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. McCoy.
Yes, sir. If you saw the outside today, sir, you'd be proud. The hedges are cut, the lawn is clean, everything is in tip-top shape. So no problem there. You can come out today and look at it if you like.
Smoke detectors.
Well, what I would ask is that I know the inspector was there last week or so, and I would ask that you reach out to Inspector Darrett. Actually, it's been about 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
And
I'll talk.
have
I'm
a
sorry.
follow-up inspection with her.
Yes, sir. I thank you so much, sir. I talked to Miss Garrett day before yesterday. And she's coming out for a follow-up inspection tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, or very soon. And I welcome her to come out and look at the place and make sure that that I'm in compliance. Now, it is listed as a rental property, but in fact, the place really was my daughter's place before she went to college, and so so we did rent it out to one occupancy. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go back rental, even though I do have a current rental notification in. But I want everybody to come out
and Mr. McCoy, any property in the city of Cleveland that is not owner occupied,
yes, sir,
is considered a rental property.
Thank you so much.
Whether it's vacant or not, and whether or not you receive anything of value.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that.
So, Mr. McCoy, you had mentioned a few weeks to abate the rest of the violations and have everything in order. And because of the status that it is, we need to make sure that those smoke detectors are taken care of right away within 2 weeks, if they're not already. So that needs to happen. And so I guess if we gave you to October 30th, 2022 to abate all violations, and September 14th to make sure that the smoke detectors are in place. Motion so in order.
Okay, I just want to be clear. So I have to September the 14th to what now?
Okay, so the smoke detectors in by September 14th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then by October 30th, 60 days, 2022
Yes,
to abate all violations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, motion so in order.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Dink.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent out to you within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can we get off now?
Yes, you can. Go to
Yes.
school.
Thank you.
Okay, next docket A, 7322 3841 West 39th Street.
I'm sorry, which docket you went to, Mr.?
I think we're going to docket A 7322. Did we move that docket up? I'm sorry. Let me look.
72, did we do 72 already?
We need to do 72.
We're doing,
Thank you, Carmelo.
what's that now?
72.
Thank you, 7222.
7222?
Yes.
Take a look here.
That would be Brian Haywood.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 7222, bottom of the page. Got it. Okay. And that one is, let's see where that, okay, well, we can read it right off here. 3641 East 129th Street.
That is correct.
Okay,
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance. issued on April 6th of 2022. Appeal statement received on May 2nd of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her representative or attorney, please state your name for the record.
This is Patty, Mr. Chairman. I do not see any Haywood on here, and I do see there was an email. If you swear in Mr.
Vanover.
Vanover,
Sure.
thank you. I'll
Okay.
do my inquiry. Thank you.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis. Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing get returned for any reason?
No,
Thank you. And did you receive any communication, voicemail, fax, email, et cetera, on behalf of this appellant or this docket?
no.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, it appears you have gotten good service on the appellant. Notice not having been returned, you can go ahead and proceed.
okay. Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is a rental property. The photographs, speak for themselves. There has been some follow-up inspection that says work in progress, last 2 weeks ago. I'm not, no indication of what that work actually involves, what was actually completed.
Okay,
So we would ask that you, deny and remand the property back to the Department of Building and Housing.
okay. Motion is in order to deny more time, remand the property back to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Maschke.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Dank,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. All right, docket A 7322 3841 West 39th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, issued on April 5th of 2022. Appeal statement received April 21st of 2022, requested for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. With the appellant or his or her representative, please state your name for the record.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. I do not see anyone that the name is listed on the appeal statement for Aruda Family Trust. I do have a call-in user too, but I don't know who that is. If that's someone else. If you swear in Mr. Vanover, I will do my inquiry. I believe when I spoke with Ms. Jarrett, though, she mentioned this was a work in progress. So if you swear in Mr. Vanover.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did notice of today's public hearing get returned to your file, the board's file, for any reason?
No,
Thank you. And did you receive any inquiries or communication on behalf of this docket or this appellant, voicemail, email, fax, et cetera?
no.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board having given proper notice, you have in due process, you have the right to proceed. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, again, this is a rental property. There's several violation notices on this. One of which is a hazardous condition violation notice that was opened for deteriorated and collapsing bathroom floor. And then there's a no permit violation notice, but there's no permit's been pulled on this. It looks like they applied for the permit, but then just stopped when it came time to pay for it and pick it up. And then there's the interior exterior violation notice. So we would ask that you deny any more time and remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing. There's a considerable amount of work that needs to get done on this and several administrative steps to make sure that it's properly registered and that the proper permits are pulled.
Okay. Motion is in order to deny more time, remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion,
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Maschke, second by Mr. Dink.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Dane,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Okay, docket A 8022-2103 Holmden Avenue.
Mr. Chairman, you mean 77?
Did I miss one? I sure did.
Yeah, you
Wow.
missed.
Okay, yeah, okay, you're right. A 7722-3320 Paris Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance, issued on March 24th of 2022. Appeal statement was received on April 27th of 2022. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. Would the appellant or his or her representative please state your name for the record?
Darlene Guerra.
Okay, Ms. Guerra, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
Okay, well, the tenants that live there refused to move after giving them 30-day notice. That didn't go well. They didn't move. I had to wait the legal amount of time, give them a 3-day notice. To make a long story short, I went to court on the 17th, and I lost the case because they said, well, the economy, blah, blah, blah. So I had to give them 60 more days, which would make it October 17th. If they don't move by then, I have to go back to court, eviction court on the 18th. This man is a very aggressive, dangerous man, has been bullying me since June of 21. I'm losing like $1,000 between rent, water, and sewer. By the time they move out, I don't even know. I just need as much time as I could possibly get, please.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, Ms. Paris, it appears that all of these violation notices are from the exterior of the property.
Yes.
There's junk motor vehicle, and there's junk and trash and debris in the yard. It looks like there's some soffits and some downspouts. Have you had somebody look at the soffits and the downspouts and the gutter boards? This is all work. You don't need entry into the home to do it.
I understand, but I had a lot of contractors go by there, and because of the debris, broken windows, and everything that's going on there, I cannot get a contractor to work on the house. It's not safe. Some of them didn't answer my phone calls, didn't call me back, and the ones that did, agree to do the house will only agree to do it after they're gone. It's just not safe for any contractor to work. That's what they tell me. I don't know what to do. I mean, I've done my best. I try to give them 30-day notice. Then I tried to give them the 3-day notice. I had to go to court on the 17th after burying one of my kids. On the 14th, I was in bad shape, lost that case. And I have no idea when they are going to move out. Their move-out date is October 17th. But the magistrate said if they don't move out, it's set for court on the 18th. And then they'll give them proper time to move out. So I have no idea what's going on.
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty to the appellant. Ma'am, when you finally get possession of the property and get them evicted through the housing court, how much time are you seeking from the board? How much time do you think you need to get it completed?
Well, by then it'll be cold outside. If they can give me as much time as I can. Like I said, I don't know when they'll be out.
I understand that, ma'am, but you need to give a time period of what, that way then you can then tell the contractor that the board said you have X amount of days. If she's unable to do that, Mr. Chairman, you might want to just decide a reasonable period of time. It is not uncommon that we hear this. And although, yes, she has the right to do it, if the contractors won't go until it's empty, she's kind of stuck. So if you give it, if she was unwilling, can't give you a date, you may want to just make one for her so that she can then tell both the housing court magistrate in October when she goes, she'll have that date, as well as the contractors. Thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
very good. Mr. Vanover, I think then if that's the case, if we give them like a November 15th day to abate the violations, that might allow for things to move a little quicker.
Okay, well, I need a little bit more than a month. They're not due to move out on October 17th. If they don't move out on October 17th, it has to go back to court on the 18th of October, and then they'll give them, you know, enough time to move out. So I have no idea when they move out. If you could give me that.
Ma'am, at the same time, you can then tell the court that they're not allowing you to get the work done, and the board has only given you until November. So you can go into the housing court on the 18th of October and persuade the magistrate to allow the work to be done and to issue an order allowing that. So it works in your favor to have that date to go to housing court with. I can't give you legal advice. You may want to talk to a lawyer.
Okay, well, but all I'm asking is for like a few months, like maybe, I don't know, 6 months. It's going to be cold by the time I can get these people out. I still got to get a contractor in there to do this work. I mean, I'm not asking for a lot.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, to Ms. I want to ask the same question that the chairman has asked. What is a reasonable time? What is the date? Give us a date.
I would say 6 months from today.
6 months from today?
Yes, please.
6 months would be March 1st.
Okay, that would be very reasonable. By then, though, I know for sure I'll be able to get them out and get a contractor to, you know, do the work. And all that dump that they've been dumping has to be cleaned out first. The windows have to be fixed first so that it could be safe for a contractor and their team to go in and work.
So,
Mr. Ben.
Mr. Chairman, we don't object to March 1st. However, just for the record, to reiterate what Ms. Aston was saying to the appellate, the more time that the board grants the appellant, the more likely it is that the court grants more time. But we don't object to a March 1st date to abate all the violations.
All right, I guess you got to stress to the court that means that everything's got to be done. So we're going to give you to March 1st to abate all the violations, okay, on the property. Motion someone.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, 2023?
This is 2023. Yes, it is.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dank,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, you will give notice within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll try this again. Docket A8022, 2103 Holmden Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance, issued on April 11th of 2022. Appeal statement received May 6th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. Would the appellant or his or her representative or attorney please state your name for the record?
Mr. Chairman, this is Patty. Maurice, if you could advance to 80.
Yes, we did 7922.
And then I do not see anyone by the appellant's name, Jose Lopez, who gave a email address as well on the paperwork. If you can swear in Mr. Vanover.
Okay. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing get returned to the board's file for any reason?
No.
Thank you. And did you receive any communication on behalf of this appellant or docket, fax, voicemail, email, et cetera?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board having given proper notice to proceed, I presume Mr. Vanover is going to ask to uphold deny remand. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
And so, Mr. Chairman, yeah, I do have excuse me. Our records show that it is registered, but it's registered under a different address. It's a double. But our records show that the inspector said that the tenant moved out in June. So there should have been that's provided plenty of time to make the corrections and the alterations. I don't have follow-up inspections showing that the work is complete. So I don't know the status of the interior, but we would ask that you deny and remand it back to the Department of Building and Housing so that we can follow up.
Okay, motion is in order to deny more time, remand the property to Division of Building and Housing for any further action.
So moved.
Okay, by Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Notice will be sent within 2 weeks. Okay, docket 8222, 3333 West 59th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is interior and exterior maintenance. Issued on April 18th of 2022. Appeal statement received on May 9th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston Law. Would the appellant or his or her representative or attorney please state your name for the record?
My name is Ali Tawil.
Okay. So we make sure we get the last name.
Tawil.
It's the same as the appellant's last name. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's
Thank
my
you.
mom.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, very good. Okay. Go ahead and Mr. Tawil, and let us know what your plans are.
When the time I got the violation, I started working on the house, and I called the inspector. I send him each time I do something. I call them and send him pictures. But the lady, she stopped us to go inside the house. She said, we're not allowed in no more. But I called the inspector. I made continuous, and I did the eviction. And she's now the judge for the eviction give her until end of September to move out.
Okay.
But I did more than 75% of the job.
Okay, very good. Mr. Vanover?
So, Mr. Chairman, the inspector does report that the work is, as of 8/12, the work was about 50% completed. What is the request for more time?
Yes.
Because she doesn't make me go inside the house to finish the job.
And you can get her out by, what was the date, end of September?
The judge give her that until September 31st to move out, end of September. If she doesn't move end of September, October 1st, we had to go to court for the eviction.
Oh.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is Patty, similar to the other lady. And Mr. Tawil, do you have a date once presuming the person is taken out of the property beginning of October? How much time do you think you would need, or can you give an estimate or a date that you believe you can have everything done?
If I go back on October 1st to court, I'm sure they will give her 2 weeks to move out. This means will be October 15. I think like November 15 or end of November will be ready.
Okay.
But I don't know how if I go back on October 1st, I don't know how long they will give her for them to move out.
So, Mr. Chairman, similar to the other lady, if you give him a date certain, Mr. Tawil can go back to the magistrate and housing court and say that the board has only granted me until X date. to correct all the violations, and he'll be able to say, to explain to the court that he was not allowed to access the inside of the property, et cetera. He can talk to, I can't give him legal advice. He can talk to his own lawyer, but that's just the fundamentals of what happens in eviction court. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover, we give to December 15th, 120 days, 2022 to abate all the violations.
No problem.
Mr. Chairman, we don't object to that, but there are missing smoke detectors in the structure.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, have you put smoke detectors in all the units in the
Yes,
basement?
sir. I sent to the inspector those pictures. The first day I started working on the house, I put every room smoke detector and carbon monoxide smoke detector.
very good.
The first day I work on the house.
Okay. All right, so
Including the unit that you couldn't get into?
Excuse me?
the unit that you can't get into, do you have a smoke detector in there?
No, it's only one unit. It's a single house.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
all right,
All
thank
right.
you.
Single house. I put
Then
on
we don't object.
every bedroom.
Okay, so we're good to go with the December 15th date, 2022, to abate all the violations.
No problem. I
motion.
appreciate that.
Motion so in order.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Maschke.
Mr. Maschke,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Notice will be sent within 2 weeks.
Have a nice day.
You too. Okay, docket 8322, 1610 Spring Road.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is a condemnation of the main structure issued on June 18th of 2019. Appeal statement received on May 11th of 2022, requesting for time to abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
Yusuf Homes LLC, and this is Nicholas Yusuf speaking.
Okay, Mr. Yusuf, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and let us know what your plans are.
So I bought the house from sheriff's auction, and then I was given the notice as soon as I bought it, or as soon as I got the deed. And I've been trying to get 4 mechanicals, or 3 mechanicals and a general contractor permit pulled. And a lot of the work is actually done, so it's difficult for me to get a contractor to pull a permit when there needs to be no work to be done. So I do have a question before I have any requests. If there needs no work to be done, let's say for HVAC, are they able to write me a certified letter from their company saying no work needs to be done, no permit needs to be pulled, or do I have to pull a permit?
Mr. Vanover.
So, Mr. Chairman, the structure was condemned, and so that requires all of the permits: mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and building. I would ask Mr. Chairman to the appellate, when was the work completed and who completed it?
It was completed prior to me getting into the house. As soon as I got the deed, I got into the house, and a lot of the work was already done. I'd imagine between 2019 and whenever I got it. I don't know the date, unfortunately. I didn't do the work. But I still do need to pull the permit and just say the work is done. The permit just, what would be the reason for the permit being pulled for condemned property?
Hold on 1 second. Let me follow up on some things. Yeah, so according to the violation, the furnace was gone.
There is a furnace and it's fully functional. I had an HVAC contractor come in that was licensed, and he said everything is perfectly functional, safe, and ready to move into. And he was confused on why he needed to pull a permit if no work needed to be done. So I actually lost contact.
Well, the reason is because the furnace that was installed in the property and any of the other work was done illegally.
Absolutely.
So
But I wouldn't be doing
but we will need a permit. I mean, even if it's somebody has to pull the permit to take responsibility for the installation.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, to Mr. Vanover, so since he acquired it, having the rehab already been so-and-so completed, I guess, and to the appellant, under a condemned property, the only two ways you can bring it out of condemnation is to pull all of the permits for rehabilitation and get a certificate of occupancy after sign off for all of the permits, the building and all the mechanicals, and then a certificate of occupancy issued, or pull a demolition permit and demolish a property. So unfortunately, you got a property that somebody fixed illegally. So, Mr. Chairman, to Mr. Vanover, he's wondering, I think if I'm hearing him correctly, he's wondering if he can pull the rehab plan through a contractor and just have everybody certify under the permits that no actual work has to be done, that it is safe, so that he can then obtain the certificate of occupancy, is what it sounds like he's asking for. Is that something that can be done, or does the board have to allow for that?
Well, I don't know that I mean, it basically, so that is not the process. I mean, that is not possible through, just through the department, because there was a furnace and, air conditioning system installed. It's not a matter of certifying the existing system, because the notice of violation does say that they were damaged, deteriorated, or removed. And so it would be a matter of the board approving the installation without a permit to install, which the board has the authority to do that. But ultimately, you know, we need a permit and for the installation of the, anything that was done. And it appears that when this house was condemned, all of the utilities were stripped.
Okay, Mr. Vanover, is it possible to just have an inspection of the, what has been done there by one of our inspectors? And, if everything is done properly, then can the board say, of course, we won't know that, we would just have to give time, but, or we can just say that he has to have a permit and be done with it and get it inspected. So how much time, sir, do you think you need to complete whatever's left there?
I honestly, I think throughout the winter it would be a little more difficult. If I could request 180 days, I think that would be a reasonable amount of time to get all three mechanicals and a general contractor to pull a permit and do all the work. Well, do I need all of the work done, or do I just need the 4 permits pulled and then it's out of condemning status?
Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, you need a certificate of occupancy, so that means all the work has to be completed.
Okay, I'd say 180 days would be reasonable for me to get all the work done.
So, Mr. Chairman, it sounds like it would be a rehab plan, if I'm hearing correctly.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like. Okay, well then.
Mr. Chairman?
You go ahead, Mr. Vanover.
This is a condemnation notice from July of 2019. Under the appellate's own words, I mean, this was he received the condemnation notice as soon as he purchased it. And this was pre-pandemic.
He just purchased it this year.
I got the deed a couple months ago. And that's when I got the notice. As soon as the deed was transferred to my name, I got a notice on the door a week later.
It's showing March of 2022. Is that about right?
Yes, and I got the notice around April, second week of April.
Okay, bear with me just a moment, because I'm looking at my records and
It is a 2019 prior owner condemnation, and he testified in the records to the county show that it was a sheriff's deed. So it was a forfeiture at either tax or a bank forfeiture, and he acquired it from the sale. Did you buy it from the auditor, or did you buy it directly from the sale through the forfeiture?
From the sheriff's auction.
So he bought it at the auction. Thank you. So he got it this spring.
Okay, so I think that given that, I think we probably should give him the rehab for what he has to do, because we have no idea where the status of everything is at. He's a new owner of the property, and he's going to take it over. So do you see a problem with the rehab plan, Mr. Vanover?
Mr. Chairman, I do not. If you please
Okay.
bear with me one moment, because
Sure.
I'm looking at my records. And I guess I'm mistaken. I was under the impression, I thought that Mr. Yosef's name was on the in the record, but I am mistaken. So no, as a new owner purchasing it, who we hope is a beneficial owner, we don't object to 180 days.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would, we don't object to 180 days to abate the nuisance, but we would ask that the permits are pulled sooner than that.
Yes, we can do that.
Yes, I'm absolutely
Okay.
trying to get contractors on board. Like I said, though, it's difficult because a lot of the work doesn't, or there needs to be no work, and they don't want to pull the permits without any work being done. They're kind of they're thinking it's a liability to them. But I'm trying to find a contractor that's willing to do it. So that's why the
All right.
180 days is reasonable for me.
All right, so we'll give you to September 30th, 30 days to pull the permits, and till March 1st, 2023 to abate all the violations.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Motion so in order.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Day.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent to you within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good day.
You too. Okay, we have a time extension, docket 8122, 3275 East 103rd Street.
Application and fees are in order. This is a time extension request under docket 7121, which the board gave an abatement date of May 10th of 2022 to complete abatement of the violations. At that time, the violations were rental registration, no permit, and interior exterior maintenance. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Aston, Law. With the appellant or his or her attorney or representative, please state your name for the record.
This is Patty, Mr. Chairman. I do not see anyone for Tana Billups logged in on here. I did talk to Ms. Darrett. I thought somebody would be here. If you go ahead and swear in, Mr. Vanover, I'll do the inquiry.
Okay, solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, did the notice of today's public hearing get returned to the board's file for any reason?
No.
And Ms. Davis, did you receive any communication on behalf of this appellant or docket, email, voicemail, fax, et cetera?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I anticipate you've given proper due process notice to proceed on this docket. I anticipate Mr. Vanover is going to ask to deny. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vanover.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Aston is correct. This was, the notice was issued, they appealed it, they received more time. They pulled permits in, December of 2021 and then haven't done any work. Well, let me, bear with me. Yeah, these are all homeowners permits that have been issued. It appears that they did some of the plumbing work and that was closed, and now but there's no work on the building permit and no work on the HVAC permit. These permits are getting real close to where the being abandoned. We would ask that you deny it and remand it back. They've already been granted more time.
Okay, and this is a rental, huh?
And this is a rental.
Okay.
And our records show that the rental registration has not been renewed. Still, so
yeah, makes sense.
I mean,
Okay.
it looks like they've been cited for three things. There's the rental registration permits and interior exterior violations. The permits have been pulled, but it hasn't been registered, and no work has been completed on 3 of the 4 permits.
Okay. We'll go ahead and deny more time and remand the property Division of Building and Housing for any further action. Motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Denk.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, notice will be sent to them within 2 weeks. So we now have, I think we covered all the dockets. We've got approval of resolutions. A 15421, A 2222, A 5822, A 6022, A 6122, 6222, 6322, A 6522, 6622, 6722, 6822, 6922, 7022, and A 7122. Motion?
Motion for approval. Second.
Moved by Mr. Dank, second by Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Okay, we'll do approval of minutes for August 17th, 2022. Are there any additions or corrections?
No.
Motion so in order.
So moved.
Mr. Maskey,
Second.
second by Mr. Dank.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes. Is there any further business for us?
No.
Okay, we'll now adjourn. Thank you.
Have a good week, guys.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.